Becoming Enlightened Together. Uh, I'm going to try a brand new spread in terms of the tarot. I typically use the Celtic Cross, but I came across this 9 card spread, and I was born on the 9th of a month. And in terms of especially Nordic numerology, 9 is a very holy number. What I've also and there's 9 worlds, for example, in the world tree. You know, Odin himself hung on the world tree 9 days and nights in order to, gain the knowledge, the wisdom, and the magic of the runes. So 9 is all throughout their mythology as well. And also, 9 is basically the number of completion in tarot numerology, so to speak. Okay. It's right before the ending and a starting of a new cycle, so to speak. Um, and with that being said, and there's also 9 levels of information you can derive from this particular 9 card spread. So, all these nines, it seemed like a magical thing for me. So, but I also admit at this point that this is very new for me, this particular spread. So I'm going to be learning as I go through this, okay? So, now what the actual heart of the message was for today, and it's a good one, is the Empress, okay? And the Empress basically speaks about things such as, birth and material or maternal influences, giving or being pregnant. But not just pregnant with a child, it could also be pregnant with ideas and things of that nature as well. But it refers to also material wealth and fertility, luxury, being close to nature, and creativity. So it's the hallmark basically of having mastered all 4 queens in the tarot deck. Okay, that means all 4 elements from the feminine perspective have been mastered. So for those out there, and you don't have to be a woman to embody this energy. We all have masculine and feminine energies, and one of the things, at least in my perspective, there are other people who disagree, but I haven't heard a good counter argument to this. Everything, in this particular reality especially, is dualistic. Now, I know with the realm of quantum physics and, the thinking of being within a matrix system, and even looking at it from a Gnostic perspective, of course, it could be argued that that could be, the false system that was set up and everything else. But I also know that as far as what makes us us, is the energy that we embody, or that we are actually, and that is both masculine and feminine, with no better a way of describing it. Okay, and giving certain um, perspectives of what that means for each of those sides. Okay, so the yin and yang and things of that nature. But anyways, as far as this reading goes, that's the heart of the matter. So many of you in fact, are probably embodying this particular energy right now. And since we are about ready to close out a cycle and go into a new cycle, it's a wonderful way to start a reading. Now, I'm going to look at this reading also in terms of a subconscious level of information, an earthly level, and a spiritual level, as well as past, present, future. That's 6 different levels. The 7th, or the first one, is primarily both the overall energy, which again is the Empress, and the summation of the reading is the Lovers. So, and by that I mean it's at the bottom of the deck, so it gives us a summary of this reading. So, for somebody out there, and this doesn't necessarily have to be new love, it could be the ignition, if you will, of a already manifested love affair that you have with somebody else, and it's a rekindling, so to speak. but it could mean other things as well. So we're going to go ahead and look at that as we go through this. All right, so the first level is the subconscious level, and first card I got is the Moon card. Now the Moon card talks about obscurity versus the clarity of the sun, if you will. It talks also about illusions, the unknown, dreams, deception, as well as intuition. Instead of having a clear materialistic perspective on things, maybe it's something that you're feeling on the inside. So we see that. Now the second card in that particular set of subconsciousness, this is basically what we're thinking about, or it's in the back of our mind more than anything else, is the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Now Pentacles basically are of the materialistic realm as well. Okay, so things that are dealing with wealth and material comforts and things of that nature. That's what Pentacles are all about. And this one talks specifically about focusing diligently upon your craft, whatever it is, and it could be a hobby as well as it could be a job. Okay, something that you're very passionate about, but you're becoming an expert at, or you're becoming very proficient at. So it could also speak about a new career. It could talk about educations, goals, expertise, and mastery in something. So whether you're actually participating in something new, or you're just passionate about something and you're gaining more knowledge on it, that's what it's talking about. Okay. Now also in that level of subconsciousness, we have the Knight of Cups. Now, Cups talks about water and so on. So, Cups basically is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio type of energy. It's the watery stuff that we see typically, when we're talking about. Water talks about a lot of different things. Talks about the femininity again, or feminine attributes, the yin, spirituality, intuitiveness. It talks about inner states, feelings, and relationships. Okay. Now, this could be somebody typically bringing us a message. Okay. So the Knight of Cups talks about somebody that's coming in and has a creative spark, or sparks some creativity in you, gives you the motivation necessary. Somebody who brings inspiration to you, a drive, possible romance. Okay, that's what Cups also talks about. Creativity and flirtation, good news in general. These are all in the upright. So that's what's happening subconsciously. Now from the earthly realm, the three cards that we have is first the Death card. Now the Death card is not as bad as it sounds, although it could be a physical death. More often than not, it talks about the death and then the rebirth, if you will, of a cycle. So end of the old, start of the new kind of a thing. It talks about the rebirth of, again, of a cycle primarily, but talks about finality of something, a transformation of something, endings, new beginnings. You get the basic gist of it. Okay, and next to that, as I've already stated, is the heart of this reading, which is the Empress. And again, the Empress basically is what we're going into with the new cycle, and that is the energetic transformation of becoming, that which embodies the energy of the Empress, or all four queens in the tarot deck. And you can look that up yourself online instead of me spending 15 minutes explaining all of this. But it just means that you're very creative. You like luxury. You have luxury. You're very persuasive. You're magnetic. You have all eyes upon you. You are, basically you stand out in any room, in any crowd. Okay. There's a lot of different traits, attributes, and characteristics that are embodied by the Empress. Okay, but again, it talks about material wealth and abundance, fertility, luxury, being one with nature, things of that nature. Now, the card next to that, in terms of the earthly line, we have the Six of Pentacles. So again, a lot of earth energy in this reading. In fact, we only have one cup. Everything else is earth. So what is that? Well, it talks about universal balance, or the universe is basically in your favor. You have enough where you can actually give, give to others and help. So it's basically good karma. It could be rewards and gifts, receiving financial opportunities. So it goes along nicely, with the good news that we're getting subconsciously. We know that it's coming. We feel it. And in the earthly realm, we're actually having it manifest once we embody this Empress energy. Okay? So very, very positive. Now finally, in the spiritual realm, first card I have, and I'm reading from left to right now, although I'm thinking I'm going to start reading the other way around. Since I've already started that way, I'm going to complete the reading this way. But upon second thought, the way I lay these out is in a clockwise direction. So, and you think about it, everything basically east of Israel is read from right to left, in terms of their writing and reading and things of that nature. And everything, west of Israel is basically read from left to right, or the west, if you will. So I'm reading it the way, or I should read it the way that I laid it out. But I didn't do that at the beginning. And like I said, forgive me, I'm still learning this, and I didn't get any direction that that's the way I'm supposed to read it. I'm just feeling it in my soul that that would make more sense and be in line with the way that this energy is basically laid out, since it is laid out in a clockwise situation. All right, but anyways, this is the World card. And again, the World card implies that the universe is in your favor. It talks about possible travel in the future, success, the completion of a cycle, flight, moving somewhere by air, and rewards. There's many other things that it entails, but you get the basic gist. It's a very powerful major arcana card. Now, next to that, again, in the spiritual line that we're doing, then I'll do past, present, and future, is the Nine of Pentacles. Again, more earth energy, more abundance. Lots of that in this reading. It's either major arcana, 4 out of the 9, and the rest of it's pentacles, with the exception of one cup, which is a knight, somebody who's delivering their cup of love. Because we have, remember, the lovers as the overall summation of this reading. So we have love, new love, or rekindling of an old love, basically as part of this, or the gifts that are coming your way. Again, a new cycle is basically being reflected here. It's awesome to see that. But anyways, the Nine of Pentacles talks about a period of prosperity and freedom, financial success and independence, wealth, reaching goals, and also family ties. So I know for me personally, my family life has been better than it ever has been before. I've never gotten along with my parents. In fact, before I was even 18, I already had plans. I already started making my moves to get out of here. And I joined the Marine Corps before I even graduated high school. But I did graduate high school, and then I went, a week after that. And I was gone for 12 years. I learned a lot there. I came back, and it's been a very slow process, but my family life is healing. And I raised my own family, my children and everything else. Not so much with a wife. That didn't work out so well, but the kids and I are very, very close. And I love my kids very much. And they're all very well adjusted, and they're doing very well for themselves. So anyways, you don't want to hear about me. You want to hear about you, right? So I'm assuming that you guys are having a similar type of energy out there, or you certainly will be very, very soon. So the Nine of Pentacles is basically the most you're going to get singly. The 10th Pentacle typically, at least from what I've been able to gather, represents that cup of love that we get here. Once that other party brings their pentacle and presents it to you, then you'll have that 10 of Pentacles, which is the most you can have in the tarot deck typically. Okay? Now, what we have in that final card with that final row of the spiritual line is the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles. Now, the Three of Pentacles represents gaining new skills or knowledge, which again goes nicely with the Eight of Pentacles that we saw down here, perfecting of your particular craft, whatever that may be. Talks about more skills and knowledge, more education, learning, mastery, and dedication. So there's a lot of, I guess you could say cohesiveness within all of these cards. It tells us basically many similar stories here, but it's all moving forward. Now, that doesn't mean that there's no work involved. Obviously, it's telling us you're going to be learning something and you're going to be mastering something. But it also talks about a lot of abundance coming your way, new love, possibly rekindling the old love coming your way. So there's a lot to be said so far. Now let's go ahead and look at past, present, and future. Okay, so this is our fifth layer, if you will, of knowledge. Now the first thing I've got is, again, the moon card. And again, the moon represents obscurity versus the clarity of the sun. Intuition, femininity, illusions, unknown, dreams, just things of that nature, okay? And next to that, we have the death card. This is all the past energy, okay? And again, the death card represents the end of a cycle, the beginning of a new cycle. And again, what we have for that is the world card. It couldn't get any better than that. So this is the new cycle, and this is what you have coming your way. So, okay, that is the past energy. Our present energy starts with the Eight of Pentacles. And again, the Eight of Pentacles is mastering your craft, new career, education, goals, expertise, mastery, things of that nature is what it represents. And after that, for the present energy, and again, past, present, future is going to differ for every person out there. The timeline is not linear in the classic, sense of things, the way that we typically are told to think of things. So it's going to be different for every person out there. Some people already have gone through this already, as I've stated many times. Some people are going through it right now. Other people have yet to go through all of these things, okay? But it will happen. There's something here for everybody who's viewing this. So again, the Empress card is the next card in this particular line for the present energy. And again, it talks about abundance, creativity, fertility. It talks about basically, fertility as well, not just in giving birth, although that could be the case too. And if so, congratulations. It could be the creativity of a new project or idea of some type. Okay, and that is reflected even more so with the last card in our present energy again, which is the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, and the Nine of Pentacles, just like the three below it, talks about a period of prosperity. It's the most you can have without that other person giving you their pentacle. Okay, freedom, financial success, and wealth, reaching your goals, and family love and togetherness, and things of that nature. Okay, so positive energy all over. Now, the future energy starts with the Knight of Cups. And again, somebody coming in that wants to come in here, flirt with you and all that kind of stuff and bring you their cup of love. Okay? But it also talks about the motivation and sparking of creativity and new ideas, things of that nature. And which new love often does, doesn't it? It inspires you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And that's what this is more or less intimating. Okay? And we see that again with the Six of Pentacles, which is the next card in the future. Okay, and the future basically represents universal balance being in your favor. Okay, having enough that you can give to others and help and so on and so forth. Good karma, rewards, gifts, receiving, financial opportunities being presented to you. And then what we have as far as the final card in the future is the Three of Pentacles, which again adds up to 9 pentacles, the same 9 pentacles that we got in the present energy. So the present energy is reflected again with the future energy of 9 pentacles being present. 3 pentacles, echoes again with the 6 of pentacles, talks about basically is mastering a craft or something, a new job, new skill, more knowledge, going back to school, things of that nature. So all of these things seem to be more or less correlating with, the other lines in terms of the knowledge and everything else that is being presented here. Now, another type of information that I can get is additional information, and that's gotten from a diamond formation in which the 9 cards are actually displayed. And that starts again with the 9 of Pentacles, which, as I've stated already, represents the most pentacles one can have in the tarot deck by themselves typically, okay? And the only thing that you're missing in terms of abundance, happiness, love, the materialistic things that bring us happiness and joy, is that love. That love that's going to be presented later on, as we've already seen. Now, the other piece of information we got is yet another series of pentacles. This time the 6 of Pentacles, again, which refers to the mastery of, or actually the balancing of your wealth, being able to have enough to give and to help and to share with others, but also receiving and getting gifts and financial opportunities coming your way. And what we see also with this information is the 8 of Pentacles. More Pentacles. It's all Pentacles. So it's all about abundance and, the things that bring you happiness in this world. And again, focus diligently upon your craft, new careers, educations, your goals, expertise, and mastery. And then finally, in terms of this extra piece of additional information that we can get from this reading, or the 8th, if you will, level of information, is again the Death card, which refers to the death of the old cycle and the bringing in of the new. All positive. Oh, very, very positive. Now, the 9th and final piece of information I can get is the diagonal information. Now, again, I'm going to read them all similarly. In this case, as the West typically does it, from left to right. But starting tomorrow, I'm going to be doing it the way I laid them out, from right to left. The way that you would look at it, like I said, anywhere in the Middle East, in Asia, in India, any place like that. So I said it starts with Israel, but that's not entirely true. A lot of the cultures read from right to left, okay? It's not just the Islamic world, okay? So anyway, that piece of information that we're getting here in the diagonal, again, starts with the World card, okay? The World card is basically that the universe itself is working in your favor, okay? And there's also travel, success, completion of a cycle, the possible traveling by air, and rewards coming your way. And again, the next piece of information diagonally would be the heart of this particular reading, which is the Empress. More about creativity, more about abundance, more about luxury and wealth, and possibly bringing forth a newborn into your life, or possibly a new endeavor that you're partaking in or wanting to create, a new job, an entrepreneurial pursuit of some type. And then finally, the other piece of information, again, is the one coming in to give their cup of love. Okay? So you're going to have a lot of things happening, and it looks like they're going to be happening pretty much at the same time. But the Knight of Cups is the slowest moving, okay, Knight. And it basically is one that talks about creativity, sparking motivation, flirtation, good news coming your way, romance. So And finally, as I've already stated, at the bottom, and the summation of the reading deals with, and we've already had that clarified 8 other times, is the Lover's card. Okay? And the Lover's card basically is a balance and harmony in a love relationship or friendship of some type. It doesn't have to be, always romantic, but in this case, it seems pretty obvious that it is. Okay? Partnerships, love affairs, love of self-love, in other words, passion, fidelity, being faithful, you know, and that type of relationship, one where there are commitments and everything else, not the typical let's go out and hook up and then, I'll go hook up with somebody else later on kind of a thing, the old school type of love, I believe that more people are going to start craving that type of relationship because the ones that we have today are, they're strictly, physical anyways. There is no real commitment there. There's no real help. There's no balance. Um, that may be good, to satisfy whatever urges you have, but that speaks of a very low vibrational type of, relationship. And I'm talking to higher vibrating, souls out there. So if you're looking for something that's of a higher vibration, what this is telling me is that it's coming your way. So, and a lot of other things that are going to help you enjoy that time together. So that's where I'm going to end this. I hope this was helpful to somebody out there, and that it gets you excited if you're looking for any of these kinds of things. Okay. So as always, stay victorious. Okay. And someday I will see all you warriors out there in Valhalla. Take care.